Welcome back. Today we'll take a look at Star Wars. Let's jump into it. So if you notice on screen here, I do have my NZXT cam overlay showing my FPS, my CPU usage, GPU usage, RAM, network. I just figured, hey, while we're walking through this video, we should look at a few of the graphical settings and what type of changes they give us, that type of stuff. So we'll get into all of this when we look at this game here. We'll sort of get into a few things and work through the gameplay, play it out and see, hey, should you get this or is this even worth it? So I normally have, my immersion blur and everything, and everything else off. And my FPS, I keep at 144. I keep VSync on, and my settings, I tend to keep them for Star Wars. I keep them like at high, except I think post-processing, I always keep that to epic because you actually want the map to render like a lot more stuff. So hey, I just prefer it for that smoother gameplay. So everything else is set to high, except post-processing. I keep that on epic. And we'll tune some of these in a bit just to see, hey, how the gameplay changes because it's Star Wars. It's not really optimized. So hey, and clearly support for controllers. I wouldn't play an RPG if it didn't have it. So let's get into some Star Wars here. Sitting at 134 in the menu, 134 FPS. Yeah, so let's get into it. Now this is your ship, and these are the planets that you can travel to. I think of this like sort of my space Uber. There's this lovely lady here who apparently is one of my companions, and this is the cockpit of our ship. We travel to whatever planet I pick here, and we go to it, and we do a bunch of stuff. It's like, think of it as Tomb Raider, but with different worlds, which is what kind of makes this game a bit better than Tomb Raider. If we had to do a comparison of the apples to oranges here, both RPGs, but hey, there are a few things I prefer with this versus Tomb Raider, but we'll get into all of that. So you travel, you get to different places. Oh, here's our captain, potato face. So there he is. We have little conversations, all of this stuff. Overall, the game is pretty nice. If I'm in a mood where I feel I'm tired of playing some Call of Duty, I tend to go to this because it just gives me that hey, chill, laid back sort of. I can just go hack things up with a lightsaber, and speaking of lightsabers, I don't have my lightsaber here because at this point in the game I lost my lightsaber, so I need to get a new lightsaber here on Ilum. And it's a pretty good planet. So if you look at here, our FPS, we're pretty decent, 117, 123. You can see it's pretty smooth. GPU utilization is in the 80s, so which is what you actually want. You want your GPU to do a lot of that heavy lifting, so you get smoother gameplay. Ilum, not a planet that I like really much. It's cold, freezing. You can feel the wind in your face. It's not any means a vacation paradise. So I was like, okay, no, we're not doing this. We're gonna run back here and I'll get in my space Uber and get Captain Potato Head to take me, Captain Potato Face, to take me to a different planet. There you go. So we just planet Uber. It's one of the good things about this game. It's, you pick where you wanna go, leave things unexplored, so you can always go back and explore them later. So this is us travel. I need to pimp out my ship, maybe. And now we're on Dathomir. I don't know if that's how you say it, however you say it. It is what it is. But yes, one thing we have to look at with this game, and again, with a lot of RPGs, the problem that you have is RPGs tend to get repetitive over time. And this is one of the things I feel like Star Wars kind of got a bit right. It's like with the change of the worlds, now we're on Dathomir and you get this red planet with all this stuff on it, but still visually it's a nice change of scenery, right? You look around, the world looks good. I mean, they didn't do a bad job here. It's not the average RPG where you run around in the same settings and you do the same things and you explore over and over, it gets repetitive. You're still doing the same type of exploration here, but the only difference is, like I'm saying, you get to do it on different planets, which actually gives the game a little bit more, how can I put this, less of that. It gets boring and repetitive over time, so oh well. Now, depending on the planet you go to, if you notice here, our FPS is like way lower. Like Dathomir, it's like, it seems there's a lot of visuals here being rendered. So if you notice, we can drop sometimes down to the 60s, 70s, but don't worry about it. I mean, the post-processing will eventually catch up. You will get some decent gameplay, so not something to worry about. And another thing with like this, which, you know, makes it an okay RPG, you can always go back to where you've played before. Simply find like one of these, which is your, you know, the locations where you can meditate and save. You find one of these and you basically can respawn all of the enemies. Ooh, hello ladies. Oh, hands off, ladies. Hands off, please. Ooh, she is aggressive. Dathomir, where the ladies are aggressive. Yes, so, right. We can swing back and forth here, do your normal Tomb Raider-esque type stuff. It's similar, but hey, this just was released like a lot later. I think it was last year, sometime in November maybe. So a lot of the things Tomb Raider didn't get right, this game actually does. Oh, she likes me. I am taken, ma'am, I am taken. Sorry, but okay. And yeah, it's a pretty good game for the visuals. So over time, it doesn't feel to get that boring. It tends to stay pretty decent, and I like the visuals of it, but a few things I feel they slipped out on. I'm gonna try to show you here. I've noticed like whenever I play on Dathomir and it's like you get to certain ledges, etc., you get some weird clipping. Like if I move here and no. Oh yes, I move the cameras. I don't like this. If you look at my feet here, look at this. Like, what's going on here, folks? Like, really? Like, come on. This was put out in 2019. I feel like, you know, hey, the developers could have done better than this. Look at the shadow under my feet. Come on. Okay. But hey, so it's nowhere. What I'm trying to get to here is this game in terms of visuals is nowhere close to perfect. If I had to compare visuals in terms of this and Tomb Raider, as in Shadow of the Tomb Raider, I'd probably say Shadow of the Tomb Raider on visuals is a bit better, even though it's a much older title. It's a bit better. But hello, no kissing on the first date, ma'am. Get out of my face. What's going on? Ooh, she's a feisty one, ma'am. No kiss. No means no. It's 2020. Me Too movement is a thing. No touching. Sheesh. So I get back to our ship here, and clearly I need to travel to someplace else. We're just looking at the visuals of it all. But overall, a pretty good game. I like what they actually did with the planets, where they give you like a little flavor of everything. So you get a planet where it's like sort of like Dathomir, it's more red, fiery. Then you get like the green, lush planets. Then you get like Elum, that's like, you know, icy and cold. So to give you a good feel, it mixes it up. And again, like I said, it kind of gives me the impression that this game is not as repetitive as it actually is. So hey. Now we fast travel from place to place, and again, I don't have my lightsaber here. I just happen to be at the point in the game where I don't have my lightsaber. But the main thing I like about this RPG versus a lot of other RPGs, I play a lot of first-person shooters, and with every FPS that you play, you're just constantly like shooting things, etc. Now, if you switch to a game like, let's say, Tomb Raider, an RPG like Tomb Raider, you get a bow and arrow, you get guns, it's sort of like similar, you get to shoot things. But with this, you only get a lightsaber, which is what I like. It's something different. It breaks my norm of constantly having to shoot things and think about ranking up weapons. Now I just have a lightsaber. Hello, Captain Potato Face. Anyways, But that's just one of the things I wanted to point out here when we think about this game overall, and is this worth getting in 2020? I would say yes. It depends on, you know, what your feel is. Well, yes and no. I mean, based on titles that are coming, this will clearly be blown out of the water. Like, I mean, Cyberpunk is gonna come out later this year. Hopefully they don't push it back yet again. So that's something that we need to think about here when we consider, is this game still worth it here? It's a tough one. It's kind of tough. It's still fun, but hey, a lot of things here are lacking. Every time whenever you get into, like, say, a scene like this where you're in an elevator and you're moving from one part of the map to another, you'll notice like a drop in your FPS. We really drop down there. It's like the map starts loading, you push to a different point. But I wanted to get to here, this location, because there's like a lot of visual stuff going on here in terms of just like things on fire, sparks, smoke. So I figured this would be an okay place to do a test of, like, you know, the performance of the visuals in this and like the graphics rendering, etc. So if you look at me just running around here, I look at it as it's the trade-off of how well this game is optimized versus, like, what are you looking for in terms of, do you want high visuals versus, you know, smoother gameplay for your fight scenes. So here we're about 86, 84s, you know, FPS. I'm moving around. So notice my movement here. It's okay, but I feel like it has a little bit of jitters. At least in my opinion, that's how I feel when I play it. Right? It's not the worst, but it could be a lot better, right? So what about if now I go into my settings, I switch this up, and I boost I change a few things in my settings just to, let's say, I want to take my textures up maybe? Yeah, or I'll take my textures up. I'll take my textures up, or do I want to do that? My anti-aliasing, I want to put that probably down to medium, and I'll take my texture quality and I'll put that up to epic. It's different graphic combinations. It helps with your gameplay. So now we come back in here. I've dropped a few frames if you notice, but if you look at it, I'm not sure if you can see it on screen, but it's smoother, right? I get like a lot more smoothness when I go from switching from one angle to the next angle, just like rapid switches, if you notice here. I just wanted to sort of, like, you know, demonstrate this because, again, this channel, we're focused a lot on the gameplay and the visuals. So these are the types of things I'll be looking at when we talk about games, we play games. It's all about dialing your settings, right? And I want to have the best possible experience while I play. So I'm always going to tinker and play around with graphic settings to figure out what works best for me. So I think you guys should probably do the same as well. Figure out your sweet spots based on your system and, you know, your game style. What was that in my hand? I have no clue, but oh well. And yeah, just figure it out. I go back in, I set my texture quality back down. I keep my anti-aliasing on, like to medium, and flow through. Let's see what we get to here. So going back to the scene, I just wanted to pop for the elevator again, get back up. We'll expect to see some drop in frames here. There we go. So that's it. You move from planet to planet with my space Uber. That's just one good thing. It's like you get, you know, flown all over the place. You don't have to fly yourself. So it's, you know, pretty good on that front. And it's you come to a different planet and you look around and it's like, okay, hey, you know, I just went on vacation to a new place. I need to figure out every nook and cranny of this, explore, you know, all of it, find all of the hidden chests, like boxes and stuff like that. So it gives you stuff to do. I won't say that it doesn't. The actions and the exploration, it stays the same, as in you're going to always be jumping, running along walls, walking on a few of these little poles like this. You're always going to be doing this type of stuff, right? Throughout. It's similar to, you know, Tomb Raider. You're gonna do the same types of things while you explore the worlds. But like we're saying here, the key thing is you get a, you know, a nice change of scenery for you to do it in. Bad doggo, bad doggo. Ooh, this guy will not die. No, I am more of a cat person. I am more of a cat. Get off me. Right, so you run around, you explore things. And again, like I'm saying, with this game, it doesn't hurt to kind of go back to the places you've been before to try to find a few things that you've missed. And here, okay, that didn't go as planned. Let's try this again and freeze it. Oh. Okay, freeze it. Oh. Okay, let's try this again. Freeze it. Oh, what's going on with my legs here? Freeze it. No. Oh, clearly my legs are messed up. Ooh, I can't even stand here. Come on, freeze it. Ooh, oh no. It's whenever I'm recording this, stuff like this happens, and it's amateur hour all over. There we go. Okay, we get through the first one. Come on. Freeze it. And no. Okay. All right. Let's go. Freeze it. Oh no. Freeze it. There we go. Okay, we get through this one and now that one. Great. Yeah, so we can just go, you know, do some ice surfing. There's a lot of little things that this game gives you that you can just go run around do if you're bored. And there's a stormtrooper with a rocket launcher. And I forgot that I didn't have my lightsaber, so now I need to get up and get close and personal. Whoa, what, really? This guy smacked me in the face with a rocket launcher. Okay, I need to get, clearly, this guy's serious. I need to get out of here. That's right. That stormtrooper literally smacked me all the way back to Elo. You know, sometimes when you find someone who's really about that life, you just gotta let them be. It's not worth it, people. It's not worth it. Stay away from violence. No violence, kids. So yes, back on Elo. And this is where I need to continue off my story, I figure, to get my crystal so I can rebuild my lightsaber, and which I don't have right now, otherwise I would be able to get through this, but hey. So overall, the game is decent, not the best graphically. Yeah, I mean, it does have a feel to it. If you play it for the first time, and you just basically sit and you're saying you're gonna play through the story, you're gonna like this. I feel it's something that most people will like. You go to your map will show you places that are unexplored. Like I see this little yellow unexplored area down on the map to the lower left. That means I need to climb back down there and get to it. So if you're ever lost, check your mini map. There's one on there for you, like Tomb Raider. So hey. How many times do I keep having to examine this place? Everything, it's Tomb Raider similar, right? It's like you climb walls, all of the same stuff, do a lot of jumping. It's the usual, you know, world exploration RPG standard. Now the thing about getting this, it's like you could actually get this on sale depending on, you know, what platform you're getting this on, and depending, I guess, on the time of year. So I don't know, I'd say with all of the games that are coming, 79, let's say paying $79.99 or $80 for this, like now at this point, I don't think this would probably even be selling for that. I wouldn't pay $80 right now, maybe not. But if you do get this on sale, sure, why not? It's a decent game, it's okay. It breaks my norm of, you know, having to play a first-person shooter and switch to something else like, you know, an RPG, just to, hey, you know, reset my mind, put my mind onto, you know, something that's not just running and gunning constantly. So there you go. Serves its purpose. So there you have it. Some gameplay with Jedi Fallen Order, and hey, should you get it? Sure, why not? I mean, the game is fun. It's a pretty decent RPG. If you like exploring and you don't like, you know, having to shoot stuff, then clearly this is for you. Hey, as far as the price, if you find this in, you know, decent price range, you get this on sale or something of the sort, sure, take it. In terms of, like, let's say you get this for $79.99 and you have to pay like 80 bucks for this, I would say, I don't know, maybe wait. There's better stuff coming around the corner, right? But hey, that's just one man's opinion. It's gonna be up to you. It's your hard-earned money. Figure out how you spend it. So like, subscribe, and let me know your thoughts in the comments. That's it for today on, you know, our gameplay. Have a good one, folks.